Welcome to this week's edition of HawkTalk. I'm Seth Morkirky, joined by Parker Robinson, and on the far left we got Coach Schlecht of the wrestling team. We haven't had you on in a while. It's been, quite a short season of wrestling, but they've been wrestling for a while. But maybe take us through, since the last time we had you on, it was the Tyler Plummer. Talk about the highlights of that maybe, and then we'll get into some more details.
Yeah, it has been a busy season for us. It's a quick, hard go, but it's been busy. The guys have been wrestling well and working hard, and we had a good showing at those home events with the Tyler Plummer and those duels in front of us and stuff like that, and got some good national ranking wins. And then we had the Missouri Valley Invite, it's the biggest tournament of the year, not counting the national tournament. And we had a great showing there. We finished 8th as a team, if my memory and all the tournaments serves me right. Gresh Jones at 33, being a champ. Harubi at 25 was the round out from placing. Had some good wins at 41 with Jamie Mullins, some national ranking wins that have earned him some opportunities in his postseason now. 57 Stone at the time, placed 8th at the tournament. And all of the rest of our big guys, we had about 5-6 guys in that final round, that round of 12. They win their next match, and they're placing in the top 8. And that was a big reason why, as a team, we placed 8th. So that was a good weekend for us. And then we had a few duels in there, and then we had the Sioux City tournament. The guys wrestled good at the Sioux City tournament. Ironically, we had a good Sioux City tournament. We had 2-3 guys that lost some conference matchups that kind of, we thought, set us back a little bit for seedings and rankings and those kind of things. And with the new RPI for how we qualify for the national tournament, we were worried about that, but we just kind of put our head down and went to working hard, and it panned out well for us at the Heart of America Conference qualifier. And we got 5 guys in. We had a chance for a national wild card with Tanner Stone at 57, missed by a few votes, but 5 guys in, and we're placed 3rd as a team behind number 1 team in the country, Grandview, the number 2 team in the country, Missouri Valley, and we were 15-20 points behind Mo Valley. So we had a good showing. I felt like we wrestled hard for 7 minutes, and that's what we asked them to do. So.
Yeah, you mentioned Gresh Jones. He's put together a solid season in his sophomore year, winning the Tyler Plummer, winning in the Missouri Valley. How big is it for someone that's a sophomore to go out and produce like that? Yeah,
and it's not, obviously it's a testament to Gresh as an individual. He's wrestling well. He's wrestling really well, and he's making great adjustments. He comes into the room every day with what he wants to improve, has that in his head, has that in his forefront, and at the same time he's working hard to make sure that the rest of the guys are doing their job to find their improvements. Gresh is not just the only guy doing it, though, that's young. The whole lot of them are young. One senior, we graduate Jason Zucchini at 84, and the rest of us return, and then we have 1 junior, and the rest of them are going to be around for 2 to 3 years. So it's exciting, guys like Matthew Harubi, Tanner Stone being around, Payson Dirk, Cody Johnson. It seems like some of those names have been here for a while, but it's just because they've been in the lineup now for 2 years, and they still got 2 years to go in the lineup. So those are really exciting opportunities for us.
Yeah, you mentioned how tough the Missouri Valley, the Heart of America is with Missouri Valley and Grandview. About 25% of all ranked opponents are from that conference. Specifically with Gresh, 4 out of the top 7 at 133 are in the conference. How big was it for the guys to go out and perform that weekend?
Yeah, it's a tough conference, and that's one of the reasons we were in it. When we had to find a conference to compete in, we had to be part of a conference that had wrestling as a conference qualifier to get into the national tournament. And we kind of were down to 2 choices: go to the West and go to California and to the 2 Montana schools, and then go to California and Arizona, which was a cost thing, or we go down to the toughest conference and go down to Missouri in that area. Missouri and Iowa obviously is closer, but tough. 42 allocations come out of that out of that conference. I think if I remember right, and you can't quote me on it, but I think it was like 34 or 35 was the next closest allocations out of the next conference. I mean, that means our conference is better by 8. 8 more guys go to the national tournament automatically over top of any other conference. And then you take into consideration how our guys out of that conference are going to compete at the national tournament. So a great conference. If you're going to, if you want to be one of the best, you might as well wrestle with them. So it was a great experience for them. Baker, I think, was ranked 14th, 13th, 12th, something like that, low teens. And we beat them as a team for team placing. And that was something that was not maybe something a talked about goal, but something we wanted to make a statement going down there that everybody was going to contribute. We had guys that contributed a lot in that team points race that maybe aren't going to the national tournament, but they did their job. Even the Tanner Stones, played a huge role in team points, getting some wins and pins in there. Tanner Bornman did the same thing at 41, getting some good wins and some pins in there, which is bonus points. Logan Wagner had, wrestled well and had a few pins and some bonus points and some majors. So those kind of things, even though they're not going to the big show, they're scoring points for the team, and that's a big part of what our philosophy is.
Yeah, and as a young team, we talked about it at the very beginning that it was a young team and we were kind of wondering how it was going to turn out. How important do you think, getting those wins, maybe not going to the national tournament, but still getting that win and contributing to the team, how important do you think that is?
Yeah, it's absolutely important by all means, but it doesn't mean their work is done. We just talked about it last night in practice that the 2018-19 season starts 12 hours ago, so it's time to get ready for those guys that aren't going to the national tournament to get that rolling. And if they, their goal hopefully is to be at the national tournament, their goal is to be an All-American, so they might as well start now. There's no better time. And they're a good group for that, and they're going to put in the work and those kind of things. And they're even playing a role in the recruiting part of it, to make sure that, we bring in good guys and we bring in tough guys, and that's important.
Yeah, and 5 guys they're not done with this year. They're going on to the national championship. Talk about a little bit, especially those 2 returners that have been there in the past, Gresh and Cody Johnson, that have had that experience before.
Yeah, Ruby first time at the big dance, and I think he'll do well. I know he will. I know he'll give us 7 minutes and he'll put himself out there. Didn't have the greatest conference tournament. Lost a quarterfinals match that I think we could have won, and then ended up wrestling that kid for 5th and 6th and beat him. So clearly, we just need to make sure that we show up early and we don't let our jitters and our nerves get to us. We use that nervous energy as positive energy. I know Gresh has got big ambitions, and he's going to go out there and wrestle hard and put himself out there, and he's got a great opportunity to make a mark and those kind of things. So I know, and Gresh is working hard and he's feeling healthy and all of those things. So Gresh will be doing well. At 41, Jamie getting his opportunity, getting an automatic qualifier bid. He wasn't an automatic qualifier by placing. He was an automatic wild card bid. So that would be a great opportunity for him and him to not take it for granted. And he's already got that good attitude about, I don't want to let this just be go to the big show and not dance. He wants to go and dance. And Cody's been there. It was 2 years ago. He redshirted last year. He's a little small for 197, and I think he saw some of that, and so he's making adjustments on how we're going to wrestle some of those matches and what we're going to use as attributes for him, and he's working hard for that. And, Casey, too, at heavyweight, same deal. We've talked with him, too, about not just going to the big show, but actually dancing there, and that's a great opportunity for both of those, Jamie and Casey. And, in all honesty, with Matt, too, it's just that they want to make sure that they're out there dancing, not just showing up. So they're excited about it, but they're staying focused, and they got their head down, and they're doing the right thing, and they're putting in the time.
Yeah, what can, Gresh and Cody bring, have been there before, kind of went through the process of all that goes into nationals, and to kind of mentor some of those younger guys as their first time?
I've been to lots of national tournaments. As a competitor, as a coach, a couple as a spectator, every one of them is different. You just got to take care of yourself. You can't turn it into something it's not. You can't get caught up in the dog and pony show of the national tournament. It's still wrestling. They still score the points the same. It's still 7 minutes. None of the rules have changed. You just got to make sure you're doing your job and you're wrestling your match and not get caught up in it. And I think overall our guys do a good job of that. Will Cody and Gresh contribute to calming those nerves? Yes. Will that be their number one focus? Absolutely not. That's my job. As well as I think that the guys do a good job of that. So they'll go out and they'll compete, and they're going to give themselves, their best opportunity at 7 minutes.
Yeah. And what's kind of the outlook going into that tournament? You mentioned Gresh having kind of those high ambitions, looking to All-American, get wherever he wants to go. Yeah. What do you see the guys doing?
Not to sound cliche, but wrestle hard for 7 minutes. Yeah. Wrestle, walk off the mat, win, lose, draw, whatever it might be, but have no regrets when they come off the mat. Have no regrets and feel good about their effort, win, lose, whatever it might be, but know that that was the best them that they could put out there. And what comes of the placings and the All-Americans and the stamps that they can get from those kind of things and the accolades, all great opportunities, absolutely. But they need to, and my goal is to make sure that they walk off the mat no matter what and every single go, knowing that was the best them that they could put out there. And if a guy's better than them, then we start in on next season getting better. If we have the chance to, get our All-American stamp, then we do it. If we have the chance to put ourselves in the semis and possibly in the finals, then we do it by putting 7 minutes of good Blue Hawk wrestling out there.
Yeah, and, from a kind of 30,000-foot view of this season in Blue Hawk wrestling, building this program, how big is, sending these 5 guys and kind of the collective team effort from this season? Yeah,
I think, as a college coach, obviously recruiting is a big factor. And, being able to have a young group like we do and put guys into the national tournament gives us a good edge in that recruiting process for those new recruits to see they have that chance to be competitive early. They don't have to bite their time and wait till they're a junior or senior. That they're going to be pushed in the room and they're going to be on a competitive team at the national level so that they can earn their stripes early in their career and then just keep building on it. That's a big part of it, as well as for our young guys just to recognize too that are currently on the team that hard work pays the bills. And if they just keep grinding it out and they keep putting the time in the weight room, they keep putting the time on the mat, they keep getting their film in, they keep doing all those things, that they're going to get better and they're going to see themselves having those opportunities. And I think that's a big part of the scope of the year is that some of these young guys that were either red shirts or not the guy, that they recognize, hey, this is what it takes, and I'm gonna put the time in, I'm gonna put the sweat in, the equity in, and go get it.
Yeah, well, best of luck to you and your squad, Coach.
Thank you.
Next week, make sure you check out dsubluehawks.com for all the details on that. You'll be able to follow along on track wrestling. You'll be able to watch on track wrestling, and then the championship bouts will be on ESPN3. All that information on dsubluehawks.com. We'll be back kind of getting ready for basketball postseason and looking at track as well. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Nice catching up with Coach Schleck there. Big things ahead for the wrestling team as they go into nationals.
Definitely.
Basketball's just entering their postseason as well. Thursday night, if you're watching this on Consolidated, Thursday night right now, get ready to go over to Scott Gym because basketball is taking on Dakota State. We saw Dakota State less than a month ago when the men's team came back down 6 down 6 points with a minute
With
left.
a minute left, yeah.
And so it should be an exciting one. For students, we're having a tailgate at 6:30, so make sure you come out and see that. Free food, free shirts. It's going to be a whiteout for all of you. Cool. And then there's going to be prizes throughout the night, a half-court shootout at halftime. Do you like your chances at the half-court shot?
Definitely. I've been practicing my whole life for that half-court shot, man. I've only made one in my career in a game, but I think
How many shots do you think it would take you to make it?
To make one.
Make one.
I'm going to say 2.
2? Really?
Bold prediction, that's 2.
Well, if your name gets drawn, you're going to get that opportunity.
Oh, boy, I don't know.
Yeah, make sure you show up early, get your food, get your shirt, and stay for the entirety of the game because we're going to have a lot of giveaways, a lot of gift cards, an Apple Watch at the end of the game.
Yep.
So,
It's going to be a good game.
lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, track going to nationals in a couple weeks as well, about the same time as wrestling.
Yep.
A lot going on for DSU athletics, baseball, softball, right around the corner, outdoor track right there too. You know, big things happen at Dickinson State.
Yeah, looking forward to it. The spring's going to be busy time, and especially finishing up these, wrestling, basketball, track and field, and then going into the spring sports. It's going to be just a quick transition, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you check out dsubluehawks.com for all of those schedules, all of the information, scores on those sports. And until next week, Hawks are up.